Thanks for joining me for this short stretching session that is particularly for runners or joggers. So I've been a recreational jogger for probably 35 years, and we tend to get really tight hips, tight hip flexors, tight hip abductor muscles, hip external rotators, calves, all of the above. And so I wanted to create this short video specifically for runners. Anybody else, of course, can enjoy it, but it'll take you through just a nice 15 to 20 minute routine that should feel quite nice on those muscles that feel like they need a bit of a stretch after we enjoy a nice run or a jog. So that being said, let's go ahead and we're gonna start in a down dog position. So from this down dog position, or to get there, we can find hands and knees and then spread out the hands, tuck the toes, and press up to find down dog. So in this down dog position, you can keep your knees bent and your heels do not have to touch the ground. We want to push the floor away from our hands, creating this nice long shift of the spine towards the back of the room. Now relax the neck here. My knees are soft, as you can see, and take a nice big inhale through the nose, and then just sigh it out the mouth, the exhale. And as you exhale that way, it should feel quite nice. Just feel a nice relaxation happening through the body. Try a couple more breaths like that, where you're breathing in through the nose and then just sigh it out the mouth. And then from here, let's go ahead and we're gonna walk the feet towards the hands. So as we run out of space, because our hamstrings are probably feeling a little bit tight here, bend those knees nice and generously, and just let the head relax here, let the arms relax. We're gonna give the hamstrings, the neural tissue, the connective tissue that goes on top of all of our muscles, we're gonna give all of that a chance to relax and release. But we want to be supported here. We don't want to feel the strain. And so that's why it's real important to bend the knees or even use blocks here to press your hands or to have your hands supported on blocks. All right, from here then, let's plant the hands. I'm going to invite you to step back with your left leg nice and long. Good, so from this position, we're creating a nice deep lunge. If we find that our knee is coming way past our foot here, just help that foot along a little forward. Feel free to adjust your stance. And then we're just gently dropping the hips downward to wherever we feel our body experiences a gentle stretch here. Aggressive is not what we're after with these positions. It's real important for us to be able to breathe through these stretches to really start connecting the overlaying tissue, the overlaying connective tissue and fascia that goes over our muscle groups. Now we've got our left hip flexor on a nice stretch. We may be feeling the inner underneath right thigh area here. And so once we're in this position, let's try to lengthen the spine. So from tailbone towards the crown of the head here, we're gonna breathe in and breathe out. And then from here, let's go ahead and lower that back knee. We'll take both hands on the inside of your right leg and then just gently let the right knee fall out to the side here as you're continuing to feel that hip flexor stretch. Now, for a lot of us, this might be a little too much of a stretch. And so this, again, is where if you want to have your hands on blocks to bring the floor up a little higher, that's a great place to be supported with this. Now you get credit for thinking about moving that right leg or the right knee out to the side, even if it doesn't actually move, by the way. So thinking about it will start to activate neural pathways. It'll start to help us move towards our goals here with lengthening, stretching. And then from here, let's draw that right knee back towards forward facing. We're going to take that right arm on the other side of the leg And now shift back, and you can help your right leg underneath you. We're gonna come back to hands and knees, and then find a child's pose with knees coming wide and hips sitting back. So we lengthen the arms out, if that feels okay for our body. Go ahead and let your head touch the mat and relax your neck. I tend to keep mine lifted while I'm talking because it's a little bit easier to talk. As we're in this position, continue to breathe. So on the height of your inhale, if you take an inhale through the nose, feel the posterior rib expansion on both sides. So your belly is going to go out, maybe touching your thighs, and then just try to really expand the rib cage 360 degrees. You might feel that restriction or the tightness on the back part in this position as you breathe in. And then a nice long exhale. Try to relax through the shoulders, try to relax through the low back. And then from here, let's come back up to hands and knees. We're gonna tuck our toes, press back into that down dog position. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. That sigh out the mouth again. And now walking the feet towards the hands, again, nice and slow, and we're bending those knees, allowing the hamstrings to stretch, allowing that low back to safely stretch. Let the head relax. And now we'll plant our hands and step the right leg back for that deep lunge, nice and long through the spine here, supporting our body where we need those supports. So having the blocks under the arm will help bring us a little higher if that works better for your hips, for your knee. And we'll just try to breathe here. Lengthen the back leg, making sure that the knee and the ankle are set up from this front leg. If we need to move the foot forward to allow that to happen, we can adjust our foot position. We continue to breathe, lengthen the spine, tailbone to the crown of the head, relaxed through the neck. And then let's take that back knee down. We can take our left hand on the inside of the left foot. And then from here, let that left knee fall out to the side a little bit. So again, if we don't feel like it's moving much, you get credit for thinking about it. Just always move within the ranges that feel most comfortable for your body, and we're breathing with these. Most of us get our adrenaline fix if we're joggers and runners, and that's a great thing, so it's kind of hard to slow down and do these stretches with breathing. But if we can find that balance and really feel that while we're trying some stretching, it can make a huge difference for our body. We start to notice those asymmetries while we're jogging. We start to notice areas that we need more stretching or more strengthening. Nice work. From here, let's bring the knee back to midline. Left arm on the other side of the left leg again. Now shift back, and we're going to take that left leg back underneath us and take another child's pose here. So reaching the hips back, reaching the arms forward. We're getting that lat muscle nice and lengthened here with our arms in this position. The lat muscle comes in towards the front of our shoulder joint, and it inserts down in towards our thoracolumbar fascia. So we may have some tightness there too as runners. Allowing the neck to relax, breath in, breath out. Again, let your head drop and rest on the surface. I'm keeping mine elevated because it's a little bit easier to talk. Feel your breath, feel areas of tightness, and notice if you can release with your exhale. And then from here, let's rise up to hands and knees again. Tuck toes, press into your down dog. We'll take an inhale, lifting the left leg up, and we'll move into our pigeon stretch. So from here, draw the knee forward between your arms. So we're shifting our weight forward, and then we place the knee down. We slide that right leg back, keeping the right knee straight, and we're aiming for a nice outer hip stretch here on that left leg. Now, if we're taking care of knees, let's say we have a history of some meniscus issues or something like that, we really don't want to necessarily try and line this leg up to 90 degrees with the shin. So just tuck that knee under wherever it comfortably moves or goes to. If we're tight in our hips, we don't want the knee to have to compensate with that rotation. Options here to place a block underneath that left hip if you want some more support. Or you can come down on forearms here, taking this stretch where your body feels the best with it. And then just allowing some breath here. With your exhale, trying to relax around that outer left hip. Now, if you're real flexible through your hips, you're not going to feel a huge amount of stretch here, and that's okay. Just use the breathing in this position. I would say probably the majority of us joggers are quite tight usually in these areas, and it feels quite nice to stretch. But we're always meeting our bodies where they're at, supporting what we need to support, and making sure that we're moving in the ranges that feel best. From here, we can plant our hands, lifting back up if we were lowered. Tuck the back toe. We're gonna lift the back knee, and now press into the hands, lift that left leg into the air for a nice stretch. Should feel quite nice. And then place the leg back down. Let's swap and do the other leg. So the right leg lifts. Draw that knee in between your arms, shift forward, and then you can place that right leg down, just like we did on the left side. Shifting our hips downward towards the mat. We're trying to stay squared up with our pelvis here. So if we find that we're really kind of opening and twisting here, work to keep the pelvis so it's squared up forward. And then find your stretch of choice, just like you did on the other side. Breathing, relaxing. Maybe noticing side-to-side differences here. Maybe one side was a little tighter than the other. Nice work. Then from here, let's come back upright. We'll tuck that back toe, lift the knee, and take the leg into the air behind you. And then we can place that leg back down. And then from here, let's find our way onto our back. And so just go ahead and we'll meet on our back. And once we're in this position, take just a little side-to-side rocking motion with the knees. Should feel quite nice. We'll take our arms out to a T. So with the palms facing up, if that feels okay to you. And let's take the left leg and cross it over the right. So we're hugging the inner thighs together. And then from here, shift the knees over towards the right. And just really take a moment to enjoy that outer hip stretch. Maybe you're feeling it along the IT band area around the outer leg on the left side. Maybe it's the hip. Maybe it's the low back, because we are allowing the pelvis to really rotate here. And so we're getting some rotation in our low back with this too. Maybe stretching that quadratus lumborum, the QL muscle, that can sometimes be a bear. And in this position, again, enjoying just the stretch with our breath. Trying to relax the neck and the shoulders. And then from here, draw the left hip down towards the mat as you bring your knees back to midline. Change from your, taking your right leg now across the left. So we change the legs and then just shift the knees over towards the left this time. And notice our side to side differences here. Maybe it feels the same, or maybe we feel like we can go quite a bit further. Settle in on this side. Take 3 to 5 relaxing breaths. And then from here, we're going to draw that right hip back down towards the mat. Uncross the legs. Let's take a butterfly or supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana, yoga stretch here, feet together, letting gravity do the work here and resorting back to our diaphragmatic breath. So on the inhale, feeling the belly rising, on the exhale, the belly lowering, and just working to relax in this position. And now drawing the knees towards each other. We can take our happy baby next. So lifting our legs, our arms come to the insides of our knees, reaching around towards the shins or the ankles, or even the outer feet if we can find that. And then just allowing our pelvis to relax, so our low back is relaxed on the mat. Allowing our pelvic floor muscles to relax here. Releasing on those hip creases. Sometimes it feels nice to take a little side to side rocking here. And then feel free to stay in this position, or if you have the mobility and you want to take the knees straight and open your legs for a lying down wide split kind of position, feeling the hamstrings and the adductors or the inner thigh muscles here. And if this doesn't feel good, just stay in that happy baby, or you can adjust your arm position to the thighs here too, if that feels good to you. So taking this final stretch, breath in, breath out. And now bending the knees, taking the feet back down towards the ground. Allow yourself a few moments of breath here just to check in with your body. Maybe taking a progressive scan from your head to your toes, being intentional about breathing and noticing the right side of your body and the left side of your body and then the whole body. And so I'm going to leave you with that. Take as long as you would like to do your progressive relaxation scan. Notice your body and notice areas of tension and relaxation.